Boopity boop boop. It's the Activated Podcast. Welcome back. I'm your host, one of them, GDQ. Boop.
Boop, it's your boy Real Walter Ford. What's going on?
Y'all already know it's your boy Mac 2301. It's Activated Podcast. Good day, everybody. It's a new day because we don't know where everybody's at right now, and it could be tomorrow.
Yup.
Good
We
day.
just glad y'all made it here with us.
So you already know we back. About to jump right into it. Let's see. I think this time last week we were talking about gun violence and how mass shootings are getting out of hand, and police brutality has always been out of hand. And sure enough, the very next day we're hearing about Daunte Wright, and 2 days after that you hear about the FedEx mass shooting. So here we are Sunday. We're right back at it. It seemed like.
Yeah. And it's crazy because that FedEx shooting hit at home because my uncle was like, man, I used to work there. Nephew, I worked at that little spot out there in Indianapolis. So that hit at home, you know what I'm saying? We from the crib. We from that state.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's definitely right up the road. For those who don't know, it was male gunman went into FedEx, a FedEx distribution center. I think that was what it was. As far as the entire numbers, I'm not too sure, but I know 8 people were killed and I think 15 were injured, maybe something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and he had purchased them legally, and the FBI had talked to him before. I think it was he had bought them even after the FBI went there and talked to him because of potential violence. And SDPD, on the other hand, went and stripped someone of their gun because of what they said online at a protest. So, and can't own a gun at all for a year at least. It's just sad. I mean, it's sad. It's just a product of. I mean, I think there's a lot of different reasons why it just keeps happening, but
Making him be so the FBI knew okay.
I mean, there's like
Somebody said he might be violent, and then they were still able to buy guns. Is what you're saying? And he bought them.
So I mean, that's why the police can't do their job. That's it. I mean, I don't mean to joke about it, but I mean that is not the first time we've heard this. It's
no, right.
And it won't be the last. But
and the NRA and all the other, the gun activist people, it's not the gun. It's not the gun. It's the people with the gun. Good thing somebody with a gun was there. They not.
And I mean, the gun law thing, gun laws, you could debate all the time about it, but I think that we have a real social and cultural fucking issue, and we can't take care of our people. Americans tend to be very selfish, and I mean, it's just there's a lot of racism. I mean, the media plays a huge role in it. There's just, you know what I mean? There's a lot of recipes for, I mean, but it's just sad because there's not that many countries where people go in and shoot elementary schools and things like that, and grocery stores, and you know what I mean? So in other countries, if that's happening all the time, they would be calling them terrorist organizations and all this stuff. And I mean, it's at this point, it's normal. I mean, Vegas, come on, Vegas a few years, and I mean, no one even talks about Vegas. Vegas was wild.
Yeah.
And sad.
That was super wild. Yeah, that was super wild. Yeah, and this is wild too. Yeah, I want to say too, we send in prayers to anybody that was affected and families that was affected by it.
I think,
And yeah,
I definitely think it's, I think it's just a part of who America is. Um,
there's more guns than people, G.
yeah,
And cars than
America
people.
has always been the violent, aggressive country.
There's 7 guns
It's
for every
the
1 American in America.
Since the beginning of time, this is how America's always been. You know, and personally, I think we're at a point to where like you just said, Q, there's too many issues or there's too many things um, that together have help create this problem. So it's like I don't think I don't think that there's one thing you can do to combat, these mass shootings. I don't think there's one thing you can do to combat um, police brutality. Um,
I think that there one major step is using the legal system though, because if you
the legal system is a part of the problem.
yeah
I
look,
agree.
The legal system is part of. See,
Listen, Chicago has the most gun laws, some of the most strictest gun laws in the country. Like that, there is a lot of the law is not going to solve this.
Yeah.
It's just not.
So, really quick, like I said, since we're talking about gun laws, I asked our followers, you know, do we need stricter gun laws? And 78% of them said yes, we need stricter gun laws. 22% said no. And when I asked, more in depth about it, a lot of the answers that I got were, we don't need stricter gun laws, because the laws are just going to be created to be targeted minorities and stuff like that. And also they were just like, it doesn't really matter because the people who don't get permits and don't get they're going to get guns anyways. People off the streets are going to get guns anyways, regardless whether you have to get a permit or not. And then the other reason is not so much as we don't need stricter gun laws, but we need stricter mental evaluations when we're giving out, gun permits or whatever.
yeah, and that's what I agree with. Yeah, that's what I meant when I said gun laws. I meant like
They still
the
get them though.
steps to get a gun.
They still get them though. There is such a divide in this country that the only way to combat it would to be disarm the police and every single person across the country, and that's just not going to happen.
Basically just a mass reset.
It would have had to been done a long time ago. Like Australia, they did it. They were able to. There was a mass shooting, and they were able to give back their guns. A lot of them did. It's just not going to happen here. There's just no way. They are not going to do that. People would go nuts.
Oh yeah, people would go nuts. I was literally just gonna say that, bro. I was gonna say, bro, people already being like, they trying to take our guns, and nobody trying to take their guns. Now
And
think about if they actually trying to take people guns.
if we can't get our shit together, like with when we have guns, like gun laws and legal guns, if we were to take them all away, like we're just so nuts. Like it's gonna keep happening. I mean, with other things, like they'll bomb people. I guarantee you. Like we are sick in the head. Like our society is sick.
But I think it just takes it takes like a mass cultural societal change. You know what I'm saying? Like a way of thinking, like a consciousness. You know what I'm saying? Like,
And that's exactly why we won't. I mean, it's not going to be solved because of that reason, because of that pushback in different states. And I mean, a legitimate portion of the country is like
60% of Republicans still want Trump to be president, and a lot of them believe Trump's still the president too.
I'm sure it's higher than that. I'm sure it's more like 85. But
Yeah.
Remember it, the cult.
Them the people that hit the button on the poll. So you're probably right.
And it's, I mean, it's like a sickness, and I don't think that the gun thing. I mean, restricting them, yes, and like in California, it's really hard to get a gun, you know, and at least open carry or a permit, a concealed carry permit. But I mean, it still happens, like the one in Orange County, and I mean, so
yeah, you're right. It's a societal thing. It's like a cultural. You know
but I mean, it's obvious we need more evaluations. You know what I mean? Mental health evaluations and background checks everywhere, and they should limit certain types of guns. But I mean,
like a driver's permit.
And yeah, you should.
Yeah, like a driver's permit. You got to take a test. You got to take a mental test. You got to get it renewed every couple of years.
And I mean, so yeah, and it goes to say, I mean, we're just that's the country.
I also don't see the purpose or the reason for a lot of certain style guns, but I mean, again, that's just me personally. But you know, I never really understood what would you need a weapon that can kill multiple people or multiple targets in a few seconds. Like, as an American citizen, what kind of activity would I subject myself to where I need to have that? You get what I'm saying? I agree. Again, if you have it, cool, great. I'm not, not knocking that, but I just don't see the need or the reason to have these
everybody to be able to get it.
To have these high capacity, weapons, and then just to add on to what you guys are talking about, in Texas, they made a law to where you don't need a permit or anything. You can carry and conceal with or without a permit.
For real?
Texas passes a bill to allow no permit carry, meaning Texans can carry a handgun openly or concealed without a license.
Nigga, what?
And that's what I mean by the differences. And so I agree. I didn't grow up.
Wow, what?
I did not grow up gun obsessive. I think there's a weird obsession with guns. I think people also have a weird obsession with cars too. But I mean, it's yeah. I don't think big guns are cool at all. Like, I could really care less. Like, I don't need that energy around me. I really don't.
Yeah, 82% of our followers thought that was a dumbass idea, but
Well, our followers are also skewed. Our followers are just a little bit biased. We're a little bit on a different, the more left spectrum.
That's why he said our followers. So you're right.
Yeah.
But let's not leave out.
Let's not leave out disarming the police, because you have people like Kim Potter who is able to set off a whole city, and she swears it was a taser, which I know I know for a fact your brain is not going to fuck up in that moment when you've been doing it for 25 years.
Muscle memory is a motherfucker, bro.
They 25 years.
So
25 years. 20. I thought it was 26 to be honest, but
it's 25 and 26 is not going to, be a big difference to me in terms of like what you know and what you've learned and how you go about your job. After 25 years, you should know how to do your job. After 25 years, you should know your right from your left. After 25 years, you should know what hand is dominant and which hand is not dominant. Now, in those 25 years, those three things that I told you, I just said, should prevent what happened from happening. And it's mind-boggling how they really like will try to piss on our feet and tell us it's raining with these excuses and these reasons. Like, oh, we have to believe it was an accidental discharge because she said taser, taser, taser before, shooting. And like, all right.
Although she had the gun in her hand for 6 seconds, put it against his body, and then fired it. You know what I'm saying? And then he pulled up.
Another thing is with tasers is when a taser is active and they aim it at you, there's lights that light up on the target. So when you
it's like a beam, right? Yeah, don't it got a beam on it?
They both have different safeties, right? And you both pull them out of your holster differently, and like.
I was just finna say that a gun has a safety on it, fam.
So does the taser.
So does the taser. They both have safeties.
But still though, so even if you think you got a taser, the gun has a different safety. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not the taser safety. Regardless, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got to take your gun off safety, man, and then shoot.
How you take a gun off safety is not the same way how you take a taser off safety. Is what you're saying?
Exactly. So my bad. My bad for interrupting, but
no, you're
right. I'm just shaking my head because I'm mad about. Nah, you're right. I'm just mad about the whole situation because I feel like, straight being. I don't know if she did it on her own accord or there's something going on or what. Like, but I don't know.
Let's talk about.
What do you mean by something going on?
I mean, life is just weird, so I don't doubt that it could be a coincidence that
right before the trial ends.
Yeah. Like life is just 20 minutes away from where it's already, you know what I mean? Like where it started, almost a year, just like they were already ready like for unrest because of
George,
the Operation Safety Net. Yeah, they had this whole year to plan it out. Like, and life is just weird. So of course, maybe,
I feel it because I felt that was weird when the Army lieutenant his uncle was Eric Garner.
Yeah. And then George Floyd's girlfriend taught Daunte Wright. Yeah.
Yeah, like what? Like all these like coincidences. It's just
like
I get what you're saying. It definitely
I've flew to another state before on vacation and then saw someone that I went to school with. You know what I mean? Like, and we had no idea we were going on vacation at this. You know what I mean? Just far away. Life is just weird. There's really weird things like coincidences that happen because, I mean,
that just happened to me. Something like that. I met somebody out here that's the homie now, and me and that person met when we was like 10 at a mutual friend crib playing basketball. And I was like, what? We in Cali doing comedy?
And so it's kind of like, and when you have police, thinking they can do whatever and things like that, maybe she really did, you know what I mean? It was an accident or I don't know. But maybe it's possible she did it on her own accord. Like, and that's what I mean. I mean, that's something that other cops have gotten away with before. Saying, oh, I thought it was a taser. And I mean, it's going to kick shit off. But I don't know if she knew it was going to kick it off like that.
Yeah. Well, remember, like we were talking about off camera, how the second day or third day, she got fencing around her house and barricades and police. It's hella no parking signs in front of her house. Like the block.
Locked it down. She lives in a different city from Brooklyn Center also. So, I mean,
she also resigned. Her and the mayor resigned. So she's still
chief of police.
Chief of police, excuse me, my bad, not the mayor. Excuse me. Like you said. I'm sorry. But yeah, like you just taught me, so they keeping a pension. Because they got to resign, which is crazy.
And I mean, they flew a Blue Lives Matter flag the next day. I don't know if they had put it up. I'm not sure if they put it up after or it was there before, but I can tell you that the day after it happened, there was a Blue Lives Matter flying right outside the police station.
Yep.
And
Because that means we trying to kill people and keep living our regular life.
and I cannot stress enough how locked down that city is with the number of police and National Guard out there. And there's still people going out and protesting every night. They've been out there 7 nights in a row, like going in, getting pepper sprayed, tear gas, flashbang all the time. They still go out there. And I mean, there's thousands of cops and National Guard out there. And then people are just kind of acting like it's not happening.
That's crazy.
Because you can go out and drink and have bottomless mimosas.
And that's why I think this response will be different than what happened last year.
You said
Because
what? You said
this
what now?
response, like with Daunte Wright, like, I mean, there's been cities protesting and it kind of had a resurgence. But even with, I think, Chauvin, if he were to be found not guilty, I don't think it'll be as big as wild as it was last year. Because last year, the conditions were just way different. Yeah.
Corona was like the perfect catalyst.
Basketball, you know what I mean? Sports are all, baseball's around. You can go do things. It's just way different. Schools are back. Like, it's just way different.
Corona, bro. That's the number one factor is Corona. Like, because like you said, you brought up basketball and baseball and stuff. Yeah, Corona stopped all sports. You know, we talked about, I joke about, you know, going out and bottomless mimosas. Corona stopped that. So Corona forced everybody to sit here, you know, to sit and watch, one, first and foremost. And then two,
everybody had time.
Everybody had time, and like I said, everybody was able to sit and watch.
It was built up.
Everybody was watching the same thing
at the same time. Yeah. Everybody was sitting down. So everybody had time to watch it.
Yeah. Whereas, you know, when George Floyd was murdered, everybody found out within like, you know, like hours, a day, if that. You know, here there's people who don't even know about the 13-year-old from Chicago.
Adam Toledo. That was 2 weeks ago. That happened 2 weeks before they released the body cam.
Yeah, there's people who don't even know about that. There's still people who don't know about Daunte Wright. There's countless people that we don't know about that were just killed by police. Like I said, like you just said, up in Orange County and stuff. So
I seen a meme real quick that said, we take a break from the trial of George Floyd to show you the killing of Daunte Wright, to take a break to show you another killing of police.
No, it was of the body cam and then the mass shooting, and we interrupt this and we interrupt that to bring you the coverage of this. I mean, if you don't pay attention, and the media is doing it too. The media is so not trying to show the actual situation of what's going on everywhere. I think it was something like police killed someone every day of the week so far across the nation. In Maryland, state trooper killed a 16-year-old recently. Portland police killed someone not yesterday, the day before that, who was having I think he was homeless and having like a mental health crisis, shot him dead. So, and people don't know about it. It's different. It's not, I mean, they don't want people to see what's going on. They don't want people to see that there's thousands of National Guard pulling people out and state troopers and police from all over the state in different jurisdictions. I mean, they got different cities out there, like police coming in there.
It was deep. It was super deep. They called everybody reinforcements.
In riot gear and everything. They got all their guns, all this stuff. People don't, the media really doesn't want people to see that because it gets people upset, and they don't want people to actually go out there and protest and resist and stuff this time. There is a real thing where the media does not want the police to be defunded, And I can tell you that because the San Diego media out here is not mentioning that the budget is being proposed to be increased for the police, but their overtime budget is, they're saying, oh no, they're decreasing the overtime budget by $4 million. And you look at it, and the overtime budget has increased every single year for the San Diego Police Department. Every single year. They went over it by $10 million last year. $10 million. In 2015, their budget was, I think it was $11 million. And then last year it was over $30 million, and they still blew it by 10 million. So they spent like $43 million on overtime, and they're trying to say, oh, they're decreasing the overtime budget this year, except the overall police budget is up 19 million. And they don't mention that. They don't mention that at all.
That's crazy.
And then I listened to like one of the podcasts from one of the news people out here, and they don't mention it at all. Oh no, the overtime decreasing and yada yada yada. And last year the media was acting like they were all for the defund the police, but so it's our job to pull them back, something like that. You know what I mean? And they act like they're like not conservative. It's the whole. Yeah, I'm ranting. It's the whole liberal.
I mean, you're not ranting. You're telling the truth. He said I'm ranting.
There's no real. They don't want change. They think defunding the police is the worst idea ever. And we need to, like, we haven't been giving police so much more money than fucking. I think it's
anybody,
America,
not the teachers. No teachers, all the police. Like, come on.
I'll end my rant with this. America spends more money on its police than I think every other country for their military, besides like two of them.
I can believe it too. We spend more money on our police than other countries spend on their military and or police force.
Yes.
I can believe that. Again, we're violent, bro. We're violent. We have the most guns per human. I think it's like 3 for every. Is it 3 to 1?
No, 7. I think I just said. I was telling you earlier. It's just 7 guns per person.
So yeah, my bad. 7 guns per person. Nobody has more police killings than us. They're like. I don't understand. I really do not understand the comprehension of like, okay, you know the problem, and you are presented with suggestions to like battle that problem, and the only solution that they can come up with is to give more money to that problem.
Because they need more training, Delaney. They need more training. Like, we haven't been training them all the fucking time. Like they aren't trained to do what they're doing now. Like, their more training hasn't taught them.
Yeah.
Their more training hasn't taught them to be violent sons of bitches.
Yeah, and like you said, there was a mixture of stuff.
It's not just them killing people. The sexual assault, the fucking profiling, the beating people, the tickets, the fucking pulling them over and out by gunpoint, the fucking, I mean, everything.
Yeah, because he got pulled over because he said the license plate. Then he said he got the air freshener in the windshield.
And warrants and all this to make up excuses. And it's true. It's because we're violent. And yes, America glorifies the fuck out of violence. Loves it. America loves violence. They're like obsessed with it.
Yeah. Are you not entertained?
Unfortunately, you're right. Because it's a money thing. Yeah, it always comes back to that money swag. And sending prayers to everybody out there right now in the fight right now, struggle out in Minnesota.
And I mean, yeah, Minnesota has showed us for the last 2 years. I mean, now that, I mean, you could fight, and it's important to organize and all this stuff. And I mean, not a lot of people are supporting him this time around. Like,
You know, and it's crazy because like Minnesota, like you just said, the last couple of years, Minnesota has given us like what could arguably be now like three of one of the most popular police brutality cases in recent histories. You know, people forget before Daunte Wright and even before George Floyd, we had Philando Castile,
yeah,
who was in Minnesota too.
Yeah.
So, you know, like, what was it, Eagle Point or Eagle Creek, something like that. But like,
Falcon Heights.
Falcon Height. I knew it was a bird. But yeah, bro, it's just crazy how like a state like that, like Minnesota, is giving you all of these high profile police brutality cases, and yet there's still
Nothing being done, no reform, no consequences.
I think it's like Minneapolis has the second most like police killings or something like that too. Minneapolis is wild or something like that with the police killings. I need to
I
find
believe
it.
it. What's number one? Like Oklahoma City, I think.
probably somewhere down south.
Oklahoma City, somewhere random.
Yeah, like this shit is.
Or like Arizona or something.
I gotta find it,
I'm
but
cool
yeah.
off. Well, I'm cool off Minnesota though. So
Okay, so I want to put this up here. This is the money for the military and police. I gotta find the other one that we're talking about right now.
Okay, cool, for sure. But yeah, man, like y'all said, it's wild how generationally we've got to this point. And do y'all think it's like a way to get to? I mean, like you said, there's no way that we can go all the way back and take everybody's guns away. But is it a way to make it better, or at least combat what's going on now? I mean, with the police thing, I mean, we kind of know that's like an ongoing battle. But as far as the gun, the mass shootings and stuff like that,
you know, because like I said, I feel like it's just a part of who America is. So America, if there was ever a country that is known for mass shootings, I think it would be the United States.
Okay, so what's wild? Okay, I'm gonna put it out right here. So this is it. Chicago and Minneapolis are the number 1 and number 2 cities for killing black people at a higher rate than white people. Chicago and Minneapolis for police are the number 1 and number 2 cities for cops killing black people at a higher rate than white people for 2013 to 2020. And we're talking about, well, Adam wasn't black, but Hispanic. And so, yeah. Well, this is just black. So, I mean, you add in the Hispanic.
And I can almost assure you that Latinos is probably higher.
Especially in Chicago, it's probably pretty damn high.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
And so, I mean, I don't know what's going on in the Midwest either, because there's a lot of stuff that goes on there, and
because the Midwest want to be the South so fucking bad, bro.
Trust me.
Well, there's a lot of resistance coming from there too. Like, I don't know how Minneapolis, like, what they're drinking or what, but like, even the indigenous, like, they put up a lot of fights for stuff. And I mean, like, with Standing Rock a few years ago, that was in, what was it, North Dakota or South Dakota, one of the Dakotas. And I mean, you got Chicago out there again, and Chicago's been putting up a bunch of resistance. So I don't know.
The Midwest want to be the South so bad. That's why you have people like fucking Mitch McConnell, who's from Kentucky, like, you know, and they have those mentalities. But that's another story for another day. Yeah, bro, like,
Our governor, whatever his name is, I can't think of his name right now, but he's the same way. He Trump dude. He's right there with Trump.
It ain't even about. It's not even about Trump at this point anymore.
About him being evil. I mean, I was just giving an example of him being an evil dude.
Yeah. But yeah. Oh, speaking of with the cops and stuff, I seen Chicago. It had issued out a warning because he was fearful of the Latin gangs would retaliate.
Auntie Lori, she said that.
No, it wasn't her. I think it was like the police chief of police or something like that. Somebody issued a statement, a warning statement, like being careful because they were feared that the Latin gangs of Chicago would retaliate to the police over killing what's his name. I hate that I can't remember his name right now, and that sucks. And I feel so bad about that.
Adam Toledo.
Yes. Oh my gosh, bro. I feel bad because it's like so many names, and I'm like, well, wait, what was his name? And it sucks so bad. Like,
sad, sad, especially because he was young too.
Well, and the thing about that too is they lied and said he pointed a gun, and like, there's a.
I seen
they
what
told them to turn their body cams off when they were doing the investigation. They took hella long to release the body cam footage. The mom didn't know for 2 whole days, even though she was looking for her son, going to the police looking for her son.
I didn't know about her looking for her son going to the police. I saw the video of them. Well, I guess it's a video of the audio, but like the audio of them saying, if you go to whatever the street is, it was like 70 something, hey, turn your body cam off. They're like, turn your body cam off. Everybody turn your body cam off. Turn your body cam off. It's like, damn. They really on here conspiring. Isn't that like tampering with evidence? I've seen somebody say that. Isn't that tampering with evidence or tampering with an investigation or interfering with an investigation or something like that?
If that was us, if we turned off any camera or anything like that,
interfering with an investigation, right? Or something, they all need to go to jail.
Nice.
Which is crazy.
So,
I didn't know about her mother.
I tell you what,
his mother going to the police though.
The two things that could, I feel like me personally, the two things that could send a message or start that change that we were talking about is, yes, one is defunding the police, and two, ending
qualified immunity.
Yeah, qualified immunity.
Yeah, I heard they got rid of that in what state? Was it New York? No.
I remember hearing about that too. It was a state east that got rid of it. But yeah, those things need to happen all across the board, especially the qualified immunity. If you don't want to defund the police, cool, whatever. It still needs to happen. Make no mistake about it. But I think the qualified immunity will definitely start the trend because, again,
you'll be able to hold police personally accountable for their actions as people and not like, yeah.
I think you need to rebuild it all.
I mean,
it needs to be. I mean, there needs to be a serious conversation about rethinking the way that we have public safety and stuff like that. It's
I'm gonna be honest with you.
It's not going to happen. Oh, no. The new slogan is we're reimagining policing. Reimagining. And I call it's imagination because that's all it is. And it's no real action. They want to
Hey,
keep doing the
imagine
same
how
thing.
other people think and move.
They
And
want to give them more gear. They want to give them more guns. They want to give them more toys. They want to give them more surveillance capabilities. They want to give them more cars. They want to give them more helmets. They want to give them more tasers. They want to give them. They don't want to give them body cams. Like in Portland, their police don't wear body cams. Kenosha don't wear body cams.
Too expensive.
Too expensive. Like fucking the government doesn't give out free body cams and money, or at least free grants to buy them. I know that there's some type of program where you can get them paid for. They hand out money like it's freaking grows on trees for police and the military. So I don't want to hear any of that. I don't want to hear any of that. We are in 2021. Cameras are great. The technology is easy, and the cameras are not that expensive.
Hey, if the city got money to put cameras on every street corner and every intersection, you got money to equip your police officers with body cams.
And even in the body cams, sometimes they don't wear them, and there's things like,
or they turn them off, or it don't work,
or they put out propaganda with the body cam footage.
Or like the one we saw that was chopped up and shit.
Or they,
Here's a video of something in the air.
They put the body cam footage out and say, oh no, we didn't actually point the gun at the kid, even though you see in the body cam footage they did. And oh, it was a high risk stop, but you didn't release any of the audio or any of the him speeding or any of him not pulling over.
Yeah.
Hey, they trying to piss on your foot and tell you it's
they don't show you the crime he committed. They just show you the after. Hey, he committed this crime, though. We didn't show you that part.
So yeah.
Yeah, man.
On that note,
Right.
This
I
is
think
America.
a good note to end on.
This is America, ladies and gentlemen.
I think that's a good rant to end on.
So yeah, no justice, no sleep, no justice, no peace, no justice, no streets.
Boop.
We in this thing.
Yes.
It's your
This
boy
has been the
Juniper.
Activated Podcast.
It's
It's your boy, Real Walter 4.
Your boy Mac 2301.